Right, evening. Yeah, I'm back. I thought I'd just shoot another quick one of these because I'm on with the drawing now, and I mean, I'm not as far on with it as I'd hoped to be by now. I think last time I shot a video was Thursday morning. It's Monday evening now. Just life gets in the way, you know. Other things I had to do. I had to take my kids to pictures. I had a couple of jiu-jitsu classes, and work, just stuff, you know. Yeah, in the words of John Cooper Clarke, whoever made time made plenty of it, just not quite enough. So yeah, I'm fighting against it a bit at the minute, but I'm still in there, you know. What did I want? Oh yeah, there was something I missed in the last video. I started, as usual, you know, fucking tangents. I started talking about the canvas going baggy if you press it too hard, and said, you know, if you go too far, it's fucked. But you'll always lose a bit of surface tension when you're sanding it. Easiest way to get around that is just mist the back of it with a plant mister. Just that kind of thing. You know, it doesn't have to be out flash. And I wet the bars down as well, the stretcher bars, because it's summer now. So the wood's at its smallest because it's all dried out and shrunk. So just get a bit of moisture back into it, just get them to bulge out a little bit again. The frames that I make to stretch the linen on are called strainers rather than stretchers, which means the four corners are fixed so they can't move anywhere. A stretcher has I don't know the name of the joint. They're like teeth, like toothed like that, and they're not fixed in place. They have little wedges that you can beat into. They hold on the friction of the joints holding together. And you can beat these little wedges in and push it apart slightly to stretch the stretcher out. I mean, if you ever buy a shop bought canvas and it's got them in, don't just beat them in for the sake of it, because you'll just knock it out square. You're better off leaving it unless you have a problem with it going baggy, in which case just give them a gentle tap and corner to corner, corner to corner, and just gentle, you know, and keep going like that until it's where you want it. But yeah, watch for going too far with it, because you can, again, you split the weave, you crack the painting, you know. But yeah, getting to the point of this video anyway, which is to talk a little bit about the drawing process. First thing I did was squared it up. I don't know if you can see, I don't know how much this camera's going to pick up because it's not great. But you can see I've got squares on it. They're 10cm squares, so they're not tiny, but they're not massive. That tends to be enough for me to get off you, dickhead. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, 10cm. That's about enough for me. I mean, if I'm really struggling with it, I can break them down, I can break them in half, and break them into, like, you know, 5cm, 2.5 if I need to. But you can usually see. I mean, one of the things when you're drawing, if you're working from a squared image, which I am, I've got my reference image over there. That's squared up. I'm not going to show you that either. I don't know, it's a bit like asking me for dick pics. You ain't getting them. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't like people playing spot the fucking difference with it. Because I do change certain aspects of it, you know. The photo's a reference, it's sort of a jumping off point. I'm not trying to copy the photograph as such. I'm trying to make a painting based around it and based on the landscape as I remember it. And obviously the photo reference helps. Having said that, a lot of the placement within it's really precise, like really, really precise. Because I'll pick it up again. Like I said, I don't know how much this is picking up. But you see these crooks in the trees here? These are exactly where they're meant to be, and the crowns are right. It helps. I don't know if you can see this bit here, but the crown of the tree goes through a corner there. That's really handy. If it's touching a corner, then you know this bit's exactly where it needs to be. If it's falling somewhere around about the middle of the line, it gets a little bit trickier to tell exactly, because your eyes will lie to you. You know, that's a really important part of it, is when you're squaring up, it's called proportional enlargement. So you know, the squares I've got on the image are smaller, but relatively within that square, if you put things where they're meant to be, then it'll be the same image but bigger. Yeah, it's really straightforward, but you'd be surprised how many people struggle with it. I suppose it's like things you get in a kid's puzzle book. You know, you got to draw Mickey fucking Mouse or whatever across, and you do first 3 squares and mess it up because it's all too small in one corner. And it's just because you're trusting your eyes rather than what the maths of it's telling you. And you know, maths is a true science, so you can't argue with it. So if you've measured it properly and it says it's on this side of the line and you think it's on that side of the line, you're fucking wrong. It's on that side of the line, and you just got to accept that, and eventually it'll fall into place. Yeah, I wanted to do a charcoal copy of Rossetti's Proserpine, and her eye looked like it should be on the other side of the line. I so wanted to put it there, but I didn't, and it was right in the end. She would have looked like shifty, eyes too close together, all that. So yeah. What else was I going to say about it? Not loads, you know. As I said, I've put the horizon line in first because that's where the trees are, which are going to establish the perspective within the image. That's what's going to establish the depth, is the relative size of things to one another. It's a bit like that Father Ted thing, you know. Those cows are small and these are far away. Yeah, so if these are the right height and these are the right height, then that's going to give the impression that these are closer to you and those are further away. It's not hard, is it? Well, I can do it, you know. So that was the first thing I've put in. I'm doing the clouds now. They're a little bit easier. I mean, they're a little bit... there's quite a lot going on in this image. I've bitten off quite a bit here. I'm realising that as I'm drawing it on, but it was easy to be boring, wasn't it? But yeah, the clouds, I've got like some of these, is it cirrus? The ones that are like ice particles and miles up in air. Yeah, I've got some of them thin ones at the top and they're coming down, and then down here I've got some, I think, is it cumulus, the sort of fluffy ones that are lower? I think it is. Yeah, so I'm just, at the minute I'm just mapping them in. I want to have this drawing finished by tomorrow, which is a fairly big ask, you know, cause I'll be here a couple of hours tonight on it. I mean, it's taken me, what, 4 or 5 hours to get to this stage, maybe a little bit longer. Which I know is quite incredible looking at it, but a lot of it's the measuring and just making sure things are in the right place, you know. I mean, I'll go to the lengths of using a ruler to check my distances are right, because if I know, as I said, there's not loads of detail in this drawing, but what's there I can use as references. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see any of this, but fuck it. Like, I've got these trees here and I've got these here, so I can draw a line with my eye from the top of the crown of that tree to the top. Can't talk. From the top of the crown of that tree to the top of the crown of that tree, and I can check the angle. I mean, I can measure it if I want to, but I rarely check angles. But if I check the angle from that, if it's too steep, then this tree's too big. If it's too shallow, then this tree's too small. Or it might be that this one's out. You know, you've got to watch for that a bit with painting, drawing, all of it. Is sometimes you would think, oh, this is wrong, and you're working on it, and it's not. It's this that's wrong. It's making that look wrong. You know, it's all relative. Another thing I wanted to touch on was, again, I'll put the camera back on it, even though you might not be able to see shit. When I'm drawing these branches, well, when I'm doing any of it, I'm also looking at what's called negative space. So I'm not just looking at this branch, I'm looking at these shapes that are created in between it, looking at the whole of it, you know. It just helps you to get things where they're meant to be, get them in the right place, and all that, which is what this stage is about, really. I mean, it's fairly dull and kind of mathematical, you know. You're just transcribing information from one place to another. There's lots of different ways of doing it. Some people use a projector. You know, project the image onto the canvas and just draw what's there projected. Fair enough, it's a perfectly valid way of doing it. I can't afford a projector, otherwise I probably might. But I quite like doing it like this. It feels a little bit more difficult. And as I said, if it was easy, I'd get bored. So, yeah, you know, and also there's people that say, oh, if you use a projector, it's cheating. You know, fuck off. Go make your own pictures, you know. I mean, they reckon Vermeer used the camera obscura. There's lenses going back through art history for forever, you know. I mean, they reckon the bloody Turing shroud was made with a pinhole kind of camera, don't they? So, yeah, don't start. No, I'm not. Oh, fucking hell, I'm 11 minutes in. I can't stop this now, can I? And I'm not stopping it anyway, because I ain't got time, you know. To be perfectly honest, these are starting to get on my tits a bit, because I'd rather be doing this than doing this, you know, setting up a camera and all that. It's just a bit of a drag. I might even get some video editing software. I know I said in the last one I wasn't going to, but I've discovered I can do time-lapse on my camera, but I can't stitch it together. It's got no sound to it. And I can't stitch it to the videos I've done, so it'd be nice to put them together. And yeah, I know I said I wasn't going to get any video editing software, but if you stick with these, if you're one of the sort of 4 or 5 people that's watching, you'll probably discover that I'm full of shit and I change my mind quite a lot. So yeah, don't take anything I say as gospel, because I'll probably change my mind about it. Yeah. Anyway, I might just wind this up before it turns into a proper clusterfuck. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. Cheers.